astrology events of this next 2 weeks of June. So I have posted in my Instagram a little bit of the summary of what are gonna be the transits for the next 2 weeks. And there's so much going on that's why I just did the summary with the specifics. But I have realized that it's not only about the transits, it's about what emotions and what intuitions I get about with all this transit and energy that is going to be available and moving. Every time I do my astrology studies and my analysis and everything, I'm start realizing that I start getting a lot of intuitions of what are we gonna be experiencing in the next 2 weeks. And a lot of what I get when I tune with my intuition and it's with my angels and my guides, it's a lot of advice into, okay, this is what is gonna happen, but be aware of this, be aware of how to live this, so I can live it with more consciousness. And this space, I want to open it to tune into my astrology intuition, to combine the energies available with my intuition guide and channel that I receive from angels, so we can live this next 2 weeks with more awareness. And that's why I'm just doing it in a very chill way, because I just want to share from my intuition, how can we live better these next 2 weeks. So I just want to do it in a more chatty way, chill and relax. So the next week is such a beautiful energy. It's a lot of Venus, and Venus, it's a lot about beauty and our value, our worth, and it could go either way. And this is one of the things that my guides have been telling me. It's Venus is such a beautiful and like embracing energy that makes us feel like we're almost like drunk drunk in beauty, drunk in positivity, drunk in worth. And we need to be very careful with the energy of Venus to live value with consciousness, because society and the world has taught us that value, and to really feel valuable we need to find the worth and value outside. So we may be receiving next week a lot of beautiful worth and valuable things that's gonna fill our hearts so much. But how much of that is based on true value? Meaning, are we feeling an emptiness in our heart with value outside, being recognized outside of our worth? Meaning that we're feeling great, but because others are telling us that we're beautiful, that we're doing great work, that our success is great, that we're seeing a lot of success outside, or we're receiving a lot of money. Because success, this is actually a word that I've been analyzing so much within myself. What is really success in my life? Because at the end, that's how much I have these standards of, am I valuable or not? Because I'm meeting those success points. So what are our success points? Because that is what is gonna actually give us idea what do we really value outside, but at the end is what do we really value inside. Because what we value outside is how we're gonna judge ourselves into how we value inside. So if, for example, in our value chain, we see outside that somebody is valuable because they have money, and people with money, we treat them differently because they are more valuable. So then in myself, if I'm actually receiving a good salary, then I'm gonna feel that I'm success and valuable. But then if I'm not gonna feel value inside. I'm gonna feel that I have no worth. And then when I'm in front of people that have more money, I'm gonna feel very insecure. Why? Because we feel that others are above me because they have more money. And that's how value works. I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm saying society teaches a way of seeing things valuable. And that's the thing that we need to be aware, because next week we're gonna start feeling a lot of value and worth, but not because it feels good is correct. And I'm saying this not to be negative, but to make us aware of where are the things in our lives that we value. If, for example, this is so popular, like we feel value because our body is pretty, we have the perfect size, our face is young and beautiful, and then we feel that others recognize our value, recognize our beauty, then we feel valuable. So we spend so much time and money in facial mask, in mascara, in makeup. I'm not saying any of this is wrong. I'm saying how much do we spend, because only then when we feel this way we feel valuable, because we feel pretty and others recognize our beauty. But then if we don't have any makeup, if we've been sick and we haven't been able to go to the gym or anything like that, or we're being anxious and we've been eating more, and then we have gained a little bit of weight, do we feel secure and value? Right? So I'm not saying that we shouldn't be feeling valuable. I'm saying that if we have that set of mind, then from that set of mind and values, we're going to judge if whatever we're receiving outside is giving ourselves our value. And that's the structure of values that we need to start being aware. Next week, we're going to receive a lot, and from that beautiful place, we need to know what does really add to my structure of value, or where am I actually getting attached to external worth, external recognition that gives me a sense of value, but at the end makes me very empty. And I'm saying this because we have a full moon, we have a new moon in Gemini, and this new moon is a lot of our mind as well. So a lot of the things that we can manifest so many things, but one of the things related with the subject of value, because Venus is connected to this new moon, and we have Venus start point the day before. So Venus energy, the sense of value, is very active through this new moon. So one of the good things that we can manifest is manifesting a sense of real value from within, and detaching ourselves from feeling valuable because of external things. Manifesting a sense of value because we feel from the within valuable, just because we already are. We already are valuable, and we don't need anything extra from the outside to remind us of it, because we already are. And no matter what outside, how we look, no matter if we have money or we don't have money, no matter whatever it is outside, we are valuable just because we are a soul inside, and that makes us valuable, because our whole spirit makes us valuable. Like, we don't need anything else to feel value. We already are, and we have just forgot, because society has taught us something completely different, and we need to change that. So in this new moon, to really live it with consciousness is connecting with a real sense of value, detaching ourselves from those mindsets of not true value, things that we need to let go because they do not add to our lives. So we can really find a stability from within. And this is key because after next week, the second week of June, we're gonna have so much energy of Saturn and Chiron. And if we have next week with so much energy, positive energy, if we haven't done the work of connecting with our true value, if we just have really fill ourselves with superficial value worth, then Saturn and Chiron is gonna come and kick us in the ass. Why? Because Saturn is gonna bring us back to Earth and it's gonna show us all of that emptiness that we haven't made ourselves aware, that we have filled ourselves with superficial value, but it's gonna show us the emptiness of what are we really trying to feel and what is the part that we haven't loved from ourselves, that we still feel insecure and it's not true value. Saturn is gonna just come and show us reality. And it's not to be bad. Saturn doesn't wanna be bad with us. But it brings us back to Earth so we can wake up and see the reality as it is. So we shake ourselves and find the true value from within and not from without. And it's gonna show us, Chiron, it's gonna show us where do we really have insecurities, where our value is wounded, where it hurts, that we feel insecure. Not to make us victims, but to make us aware on which are the places we do not love ourselves. Because insecure and unvaluable is not because outside something is empty. It's because we inside reject those parts of us and we do not love ourselves. The only thing that can really feel those insecurities is loving ourselves. Is telling ourselves that we already value. Sitting with ourselves, forgiving ourselves from all those moments that we have judged ourselves before, and seeing that we already have everything, and being very strong and brave to allow that to those emotions to come, and we can sit down with them and love. And then we're gonna find the true, complete joy of feeling valuable, of the value. And this is the whole process. This is what my angels have been telling me about. So next week is a time just to be aware and explore and experience of that true value, the filtering of what is really value and what is not value. So when Saturn comes, we are already aware of that, and with that energy of Saturn and Chiron, we can work with it to really release all those insecurities, so we can really, at the end, around the 15th of June, we can really sit down and recognize how much valuable we are, and we can have a sense of true joy because we have done the work of loving ourselves truly. And that's why one of the books that I recommended this month is Mirror Work, because I actually worked with this book last year, and it's a beautiful book of seeing ourselves through the mirror and loving ourselves just exactly as we are. Going back since we were little, because the sense of value comes from that little kid that, for whatever reason, society, our family, our friends, our school told that little kid that it wasn't value. It didn't have what it requires. It wasn't good enough. So from all of these insecurities of that little kid, then that start growing with us, which in our youth, when we were teenagers, that kind of settled down within our heart, and we started being mad with ourselves because feeling this way. And that's when we start finding external things to calm that insecurity. And since we grew up, we never kind of passed that phase. because nobody really teaches to be adults. We end up being very emotionally immature because nobody teaches. That's, it's not a fault of anybody unless you have done therapy or like you really have done the job and being aware and opening your eyes. But usually we're not. So don't feel bad that you're having all of these emotions. That's a story and that's a great thing to just be aware of it, because that's a place where you can actually really heal. So these are just some of the summary of what my angels have been guiding me through. What is this energy bringing to us? And I hope and really desire that all of this can settle to our hearts so we can really have a beautiful 2 weeks.